That's how you start off a week,
That is
right?
it.
That is how you start off a week. Welcome to South Africa. Welcome to Mzansi Nanongabu Makaya. This is your favorite show. It is Ekse right here on Cape Town TV. And I am your host of Your Tomorrow Darling, but I'm not running solo. I've got two beautiful queens right next to me.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. It's a beautiful Monday. Thank you, guys. To the Black Rose over here as well. And of course, Namhlanje Simphathele, the hardest and the hippest, like every other day. And we're here until 5 o'clock. That is Prince KB, of course, Stella Utikukuletsu. And of course, Nati. We're also not riding solo. We have a special guest today.
Popularly known as TK, so you guys can definitely call me TK as well. Like the ladies have said, cannot wait to have fun with you guys, and I cannot have to have fun with these ladies.
Oh man,
It's a lady.
Going to be super amazing.
We're gonna have so much fun in studio.
Yes.
And it is hashtag Monday Motivation. So on social media, go onto the streets and let us know what are your Monday motivational quotes that you think we should all be sharing on this Monday, right? And that is Ekse_live on Twitter or on Ekse on Cape Town TV on Facebook. Let us interact, man, guys. So
Yes.
what do we have on the show today?
Yes, and of course, if when you want to join us in studio, like the guests we're going to be having on today's show, you can email us your clip of what it is that you do and your bio to ekse@capetowntv.org, and you could be joining us in studio. Speaking of people joining us in studio today, and speaking of Monday motivation, everything is just building up. It's hard. We have a shoe sneaker technician.
Oh
I
my
like
God,
that is the title I've given him. Jean Pascal in the studio today, and was Bonisa, the kind of art that he does on his shoes, which is called KasiShoe.
Yeah.
Of course, and we've also got the Amy Foundation joining us in studio. Now, this is a foundation that basically does the most in their communities. Are you a youth out there? What are you doing to inspire the rest of the youth? So do the right thing, man. Stick around. It's going to be such an amazing
That'll be an amazing.
show.
Come, let's go to trending news.
It's
quickly,
time for
quickly.
trending.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Hashtag trending news is all it's about, man. So first up on our trending news, we started on a very sad note. So basically, we're sending our deepest condolences to the former presenter of Our Perfect Wedding. I'm sure you guys know her. She goes by the name of Ukayise Ngula, and her family has unfortunately lost her husband in a car accident. So condolences we go out to the family. We're really, really sorry, and we really pray that they grieve and they heal after that.
This is very sad, considering she had just left her perfect wedding because Uputi was stable and a good income, and now suddenly the universe was like, no babes, we're taking it all away. This is very sad indeed.
And she had just given birth as well to a
Yes.
beautiful baby boy. But our deepest condolences go out to you and your family, Kaisa.
And apparently it was her husband who was driving the car.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh
so
man.
sad.
I'm so sorry, guys.
But on a lighter note, however, we'd like to send out big congratulations to the one and only Hoko hitmaker by the name of Shaw Majozi. She's done it again. She's won yet another award. Ladies and gents, an award winner. She has won a BET award.
Yes.
Yes.
Levels.
Yes. So after winning the Viewer's Choice for Best Newcomer International Act Award at this year's BET Awards that was held at the Microsoft Theatre in Los Angeles last night, Soma Jose's win could easily be regarded as an historical moment within our South African shores and iconic, as she is the first female South African musician to scoop this top award. First of ever.
Represents the woman out
female.
there.
Oh my gosh, we are so proud of you. We love you, and we really appreciate you for the work that you're putting out there in our music industry.
To be honest, I'm very inspired because I feel like Shoma Josie has actually succeeded in what she wanted.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm taking this language abroad, and she's done that, and they've recognized it.
And I'm not sure if you guys remember her speech as well at the
Yeah.
Summers,
Yeah.
thinking that people were mocking her and her, culture and
Yeah.
everything. I guess-
2019
what are
is
they
so much
saying
Josie,
now?
yeah, I think. We should celebrate her this entire year because she's just won a couple of summers.
Who
Now
cool.
she's winning a BET
Yeah.
award.
Who cool.
20 Josie.
Very cool. And also exciting news. So if all of you have been following the story of Uzoto Abantu and her Benten, you will be glad to know that they have put the wedding back on. So a couple of weeks ago, Uzoto Abantu did call off the wedding, saying that she was feeling emotionally drained and she was just not ready, and she felt that her fiance at the time needed more time to be more experienced and just have a lot more fun. Uzodwa Abantu reported recently that the wedding is back on and that there is nothing to fear and that they're going to be together and they're happy. And I was watching the episode yesterday and I was looking at the comments because his friends were like, okay, are you ready to get married to this person? Like, are you not doing it for like fame, for money? And he was explaining to his friends like, no guys, I've known this person since 2013 and we've been having relations like since like a long time ago before she was famous. So I mean, props to them for having their wedding back on.
Number, guys.
Age
Love
is just a number.
Yes. Suggestion, let's three-step, to the ad break.
Okay.
Halala. Siyagu ad break.
Siyabuya.
Siyagu ad break.
Siyabuya.
With some more of Monday motivation. Siyabuya monte.
Sieza. The Monday
It's that guys,
motivation.
Is a non-profit organization in South Africa focused on youth education, development and empowerment. Programs are aimed at underprivileged youths aged 5 to 18 living in challenged and vulnerable communities in and around Cape Town. With a staff of dedicated coordinators, facilitators and volunteers from all over the world, the foundation currently runs after-school programs at schools in Nyanga, Crossroads, Guguletu, Philippi, Khayelitsha and Manenberg, each hosting up to 300 children per day. Various cultural and educational activities offer students healthy alternatives to all the negative influences and unlocks their creative talent. These programs run from Mondays to Thursdays as well as Saturdays, with a meal being offered to each child daily. During the school day, the Youth Literacy Program reaches hundreds of children in various schools. This supplements the shortcomings of the educational system in the challenged and vulnerable communities. Groups of children are taught the violin, guitar, recorder, brass, marimba, choir at various times and at different schools and venues in the townships. In our HIV/AIDS prevention program, children are educated about the dangers and causes of HIV/AIDS and substance abuse through peer education. Striving to create a new order of artistic excellence, drama, visual art and dance is an especially effective tool in allowing children to express themselves and to convey the important message of prevention, danger and causes of HIV/AIDS, abuse and violence.
Who eats a frog?
The Greening, Environment and Poverty Alleviation Program works to teach children the importance of health and nutrition, respect for the environment, growing vegetable gardens, poverty alleviation, and much more. Coached by enthusiastic foundation staff members and volunteers, the Sports Development Program provides an opportunity for local youth to develop their skills and to channel their energies into healthy and constructive activities. Because of the success of our programs over the last decade and our mission to continue the reconciliation process between South Africa's privileged and less privileged citizens, various measures have been put into place to ensure future sustainable income, such as the Amy Beale Cultural Township Tours. The sale of Amy's Rose, Amy's Wines, Amy's Bread, My School Card, as well as the Relate bracelets also bring in a much-needed source of income. Funding and support is needed to continue and grow our vast array of successful programs. The number of children we can reach is directly proportionate to the amount of funding we are able to raise. We are appealing to individuals and organizations for support so that we can continue our vision of providing a brighter future with greater opportunities for children from challenged and vulnerable communities.
And that's the beautiful work that the Amy Foundation does to our South African society. We'd like to thank them so much for doing that amazing work. And today, it is a Monday, so we're celebrating all things hashtag Monday Motivation. So go to social media and interact with us on social media about this hashtag. We're at Ekse_live on Twitter, and on Facebook, we are on Ekse on Cape Town TV. And we asked you to send through your Monday motivational quotes on our social media platforms, and you did exactly that. So I'd like to read some of those to you today, just to kickstart off your week on a very high note. This one says, stay positive, work hard, and make it happen. The next one says, some days I wish I could go back in life, not to change anything, but to feel a few things twice. That's actually quite profound. Feeling some, feelings twice is absolutely something that I think we need to kind of reminisce on as human beings. The third one, and the last one that I'll read for today, says, you don't need their apology to forgive them, and don't make it a requirement for you to move on. Never let your peace depend on what people will do next. One thing waiting does is prolong the pain. Oh my, keep them coming, guys. The hashtag is hashtag Monday Motivation across all social media platforms. And right now, though, we'd like to welcome onto our Yellow Couches with Q and Utoko. We are joined by Managing Director Kevin Chaplin and a Hospitality Youth Skills Development learner, Udi Kepo, if I'm saying it correctly, who are from the Amy Foundation, which provides the best children and youth programs where all can achieve and succeed in life. Q, take it away.
Yes, we are, of course, sitting with the Amy Foundation. How are you guys doing?
Excellent.
Firstly,
Good.
I'd like to ask, did we say your name right? We have to address
I
that.
tried.
Teboho.
Tebo.
Yeah.
Did-
Titebuho.
Tebo. Wow.
Lovely. TK is
Something
holding
I've
us
learned
down.
today. Welcome to the show.
Because
Thank
it's
you.
cool.
Oh, we are Teta.
Yeah, Teta.
Mom.
So right in January,
Dipilile.
oh, my heart is so warm.
Kukumbula kakhulu.
Usikhumula laphi?
From where? About 1 year ago.
Oh. It's very good.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
Tell us, it is a hashtag Monday Motivation. So tell us more about the Amy Foundation. What is the vision of the foundation?
So the Amy Foundation is to change lives.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we live and breathe for every day. To give youngsters between the age of 5 and 35, because
35, wow.
youth in South Africa is up until 35.
True.
And it's really to give them opportunities that they would never have before. And that's what we love to do.
And
is
how long have you guys been running this program for?
the Amy Foundation started way back in 1998,
Okay.
but we used to only focus on after-school programs up until 2016.
Okay.
And in 2013, 2014, we realized that we were doing all this great work with up to 18-year-olds, and then we weren't resourced to get them into careers, into employment, into skills. And that's when we said we've got to start youth skills development and training.
Yeah.
So we started that in 2016.
Okay.
And did
Hi, Boyo. Boyo.
tell us about when did you join the program and how has it helped change your life?
I joined the program in beginning of Feb
This year.
this year.
Oh wow.
I heard from a friend, basically after matric, went to study coding as a web developer. So hospitality was not something in my mind. So I was like, okay, I'm doing nothing, I'm staying at home. So I was like, okay, let me just give it a try. I went to the program, then I fell in love with it, and I was sent to 12 Apostle for a month internship.
Okay.
Yeah, I just came back now last month.
And how was that for you?
Wow.
Yeah, it was mind-blowing. It was a learning experience because I had to it wasn't only focusing on the kitchen stuff.
Yeah.
I had to do front of house, F&B, housekeeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was so exposed to many
Different.
departments of it. Yeah.
And
That's so
it looks like
beautiful.
it's a holistic approach into grooming these young people. What specifically do you focus on when developing young people?
So we give the youngsters a opportunity to choose between hospitality, sewing, craft and design, beauty and wellness, but I see we don't need that here. These ladies can come and teach us. And then the fourth discipline they can choose is technical skills, which we're proud to have only launched a few months ago. It was baby steps, having only started in 2016, but it's a 3-month program. that we run. So we run various intakes through each year. Am I talking to everybody?
All of us.
You're a family here.
And they come first of all on an orientation week,
Okay.
and they get exposed to all the different opportunities, including just learning about self-esteem and what are the career opportunities out there and what does it take to be successful in life. After that week, they can then choose which discipline they want.
And you were telling us a little bit earlier on before we came on that the piece that you're wearing also was designed and sewed by one of the students.
Yeah, we're cute.
And so,
Steve.
firstly, I'm impressed, and I want a piece myself.
I made this.
And I want to know what do you guys sort of, when you're doing the training and you're taking them to these professions, is there a linking way that you guys make sure that you get them the perfect job for what they've studied for with the specific companies? Or is it sort of like you put them in one pool and someone comes and scouts?
So they need to apply every time we have an intake. We get applications, and then we sift through and we take, like now I think we've got about 100 students between our intakes at the moment. And once they choose which discipline they want to do, we then we take them through the process. And at the end of the 3 months, we help them with their CV. But obviously, if a person's in hospitality and realizes, but I want to move into sewing craft, that's where my passion lies. Because sometimes only when you're in it, you realize where does your passion lie.
True.
And because throughout the program, we're also teaching them, business etiquette, business ethics, attitude, so that by the time the program comes to the end of the 3 months and we're doing their CV, we now start talking to our partners. That's the critical success factor, that we've got partners we've built up. So if you're in the sewing, craft and design, we'll be talking with Trueworths and YDE and others. In the beauty and wellness, it'll also be hotels and spas, but some of them even go into reception positions. It depends where their passion lies. Clicks is another one. In hospitality, it'll be Pick and Pay, it'll be 12 Apostles Hotel, restaurants and others. I mean, it really just depends on the learner and also what they would want to do.
Excitingly enough, it is school holidays now, right? So the students who are out there or chilling at home and don't really have anything to do, what programs do you have for them for this school holidays that are currently?
So at the moment, obviously we're full with our youth skills development for the 18 to 35. But for the after-school programs, we're running programs in Gugulethu, in Bonteheuwel, where the younger students come. And there it's music, drama, dance, sport, because we use those activities and disciplines to focus the youngsters. Because, the stats are terrible in South Africa.
Yeah.
Over 50% of youngsters who start grade 1 drop out of school before writing grade 12. Writing grade 12. That's how scary it is. And then we talk about the teen pregnancies, the violence, the gangs. So that's why we like to get them involved in those sort of activities during the school holidays. We don't have enough resources to involve other youngsters in the hospitality and that, but our bigger vision, as we raise more funding, we want to also start vocational skills training for the grade 10s, 11s and 12s.
Okay.
So we've got after school programs, and we've got the youth skills for the 18 to 35, and then hopefully soon, well, when I say soon, it all depends on funding, that we can do the grade 10s, 11s and 12s, so that we're starting to get them ready for finishing grade 12 and coming on our programs. And that's been, for me, the most remarkable thing. I mean, Sibulelo making these, we've got Pakamani who makes shoes, we've got Sibusiso who started at 11 years old with us, in guitar, in music, and then now he's a training manager at Pick and Pay. We've got Akono who started when he was 9 and in sport and peer education, greening. He's a top shot at the 12 Apostles now. He went to London with it.
So you
This
did
is
mention
exciting.
Gugulethu and Bonteheuwel. What other communities do you guys work with?
We used to work in a lot more communities,
Yeah.
but funding really was
Is a
tough for
problem.
us. We used to, up until last year, we were in Kailicha, we were in Philippi, we were in Crossroads, but funding was tough. I cannot explain how tough it was.
So,
And so
Kevin,
sadly, we had to downsize.
You've mentioned a couple of success stories, but I think it's time for us to check out on our insert some more of those exciting success stories from the Amy Foundation.
Simbulele Maka. I'm 20 years old and this is my home in Guguletu. Growing up in such a township, it's very difficult because as teens, we have many challenges such as teenage pregnancy, drugs, gangsterism. One of the things that I did in order to grow myself as a person, I joined the Emmy Foundation.
We are very proud to share with you that since 1998, thanks to our dedicated team of facilitators, coordinators, partners and donors, we are now running 5 after-school centres in the townships of Guguletu, Crossroads, Philippi, Khayelitsha, Bonteheuwel. The children can choose from a variety of disciplines: music, drama, dance, sport, literacy, greening, you name it.
I need time to play, time to be free, time to be.
In the Emmy Foundation, I joined the choir because I love singing. We had to learn songs that we didn't know.
Guys, please let us focus. Nah?
We had to practice and practice lyrics until we understood them. But mostly we enjoyed being together and singing the songs.
I started at the Emmy Foundation in 2010. I went to each and every different classes there, but I fell in love with one class, which is the peer education class. The Emmy Foundation changed my life in 2012. That's when I lost my mom. So I had given up all hope, but then the specific class that I was in, the peer education class, everybody there was there for me through that difficult time. They showed me love, they showed me care, they showed me support through what I was going through. And most of all, they gave me courage to go on again. They gave me that fight, that drive in me.
There was an opportunity where you had to apply for a position to go.
Oh man, my heart is titillating with joy as I'm seeing these amazing success stories from the Amy Foundation. But I think before we let them go, we'd like to ask them just one question. If I'm a young person and I'd love to join this NPO and I'd love to be part of this amazing initiative, how do I become part of it? Anyone?
Okay. You can log on their website as Amy Foundation. You can go through their offices and drop your CV. Just need to be 18 and less than 35 for the youth development program.
Okay. And where are their offices based?
In Etlon, just over the bridge on your left-hand side from Etlon Police Station.
Okay.
Yeah, Klipfontein Road, start of Klipfontein Road to Duckburg Street. So it's as Diteboho says. Drop your CV. You can www.amyfoundation.co.za. We're also on Facebook, Amy Foundation, Twitter, Instagram.
All of them. Everybody. It's for the youth. Come on, who's the target market?
Yeah, and we've got wonderful people, Anele there, who really tracks the students, talks with the students. So please also email info@amyfoundation.co.za. You can email us the CV, as Diteboho says.
Guys. Okay, so when at Diteboho, what is it that you're doing currently, specifically in hospitality?
I cook.
You cook, so you're a chef.
Where's the food?
So where's the samples?
Come on.
Where can we go tasting your food?
Just come to the offices. Yeah.
Okay, so you cook for the office.
There's an invite,
Yeah.
you see?
Yeah.
Okay, and then about this piece that you're wearing and the person who made it, where do I contact them?
Siyabulele, yeah, you contact us.
Also one of the students.
Through
the
offices. One of the students, we'll put you in touch. He'll take measurements.
Hey.
Check it
Listen,
out.
these people are doing a real
It's
business.
a beautiful.
We're making jackets now.
Yeah.
We want like our jackets.
And you were telling us that you took 15 girls to France last year, so this has traveling things as well.
Wonderful opportunities.
Benefits.
Ukuhamba kukubona, you see?
Yes.
It's honestly, I believe in that 100%. I mean, we took girls to Ireland about 7 years ago. Sisona, Nosaviwe, they now got degrees, you know. The 15 girls we took to Los Angeles to sing in a choir. It's opened their minds. Now we've got Siyabulelo going to France next month.
We're coming to your offices.
Big up, big up, big up. Absolutely amazing. Let's go to a quick commercial ad break. There's so much more of #Monday Motivation right here on Ekse on Cape Town TV. We love you. Welcome wethu Mzansi nisabukele enkqubeni nithanda kakhulu lapha eMzansi. It is Ekse right here on Cape Town TV, and I am your host of YouTube Darlings, joined by Q, the Black Rose, and Toko Zile. And our hashtag for today's hashtag Monday Motivation. So go on social media and let us know what are your thoughts this Monday. And we asked you to send them through to us and inspire the whole of South Africa. And you did exactly that. My pardon. This one says maturity comes with experience, not age. Ooh, very smart. This one says, to be somebody nobody thought you could be. The next one saying, a premicist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist, however, sees the opportunity in every difficulty. And the last one saying, sometimes I need to go off on my own. I'm not sad, I'm not angry, I'm recharging my batteries. Speaking of things that are being recharged, we do have in studio, guys, I'm so excited about this one. You know I love my fashion, you know I love all things beauty, all things fabulosity. And in studio today, we have an entrepreneur who's brought us this fabulous, I feel like I'm doing a TV ad, this fabulous sneaker, and his name is Jean. Thank you so much for coming on the show. KasiShoe. Yeah. Tell us about this beautiful brand. I mean, it's beautiful looking at it. I think it's the future of sneakers, right? What is KasiShoe? Where did this all come about?
Well, KasiShoe is
Just use your mic.
Yes, use your mic.
Well, KasiShoe is obviously a independent shoe brand that I created. The idea was actually just to bring like whole of Africa, so to speak, into one sneaker. And the whole idea came about, well, the name Kasi actually came from like the township in Soweto, because I played a lot of soccer there. So we were always like, Kasi, soccer, Kasi is locos, lacquer, Kasi. And I was like, let me bring something that everybody can relate to. So I was like, I'll bring the name Kasi, and it stuck there, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. So firstly, is there a size 5? That's my first question. Secondly, when did you start this business, and how did your parents feel when you were like, I'm gonna go and be an entrepreneur now, I'm done with school, I'm leaving that?
Well, to be honest with you, size 5 is unfortunately sold out. The smallest size we have 6, but we are getting stock. Don't worry.
We'll put socks in front, then we'll still wear them.
Sure. That's a good idea. Yeah. So as I said, there's like a lot of designs coming out. This is only the first one, so we also have size 5 in different colors, so different styles. The whole idea of like KasiShoe, like being an entrepreneur, and where the idea came from was, I looked at like in South Africa in general, like how the companies are running, and a lot of retrenchment and unemployment. And I said to myself, I don't want to be reliable on a business for my income. So I said, how can I make a difference in South Africa? And I thought to myself, like, you have to start somewhere, especially when you're young. So I decided, let me just take the risk and go for it. And obviously, when I told my dad about the idea, he was very supportive, as well as like my mom and my family. And I don't know, since then I just advertise it, like I said, last year December. Actually, it's funny, last year December I actually wore the shoes at the waterfront, and people were like, oh, I love your shoes. I was like, okay, maybe I could bring it in. But only like 5 months, like last month, I actually just came up with the idea to try and manufacture it and just to bring it into South Africa. And yeah, it's just from there it took off, I guess, and now I'm here.
So your parents were supportive even though you quit school?
Well, I didn't know what I wanted to study, to be honest with you. I studied in the States for a year, and didn't know what I wanted to do. I started with finance, and like I enjoyed it, but then I was like, you know what, I don't want to work for someone. Just the whole idea of just working for someone. And I was like, I would rather want to be on entrepreneurship side of life. And a guy called Gary Vaynerchuk in America, he's very much for entrepreneurs, and I kept listening to his podcast, and I was like, why don't I just give it a go? I'm still young before I'm going to regret it. So I just went for it, and now I'm here. And
how has the journey been, like starting your own business?
Well, it's really awesome. It is challenging in a sense, is that if you don't have the right foundations in terms of like a store, so people are like very skeptical in terms of seeing you because they don't know who the person is behind the computer or the company. So just trying to get out there is really, really hard, but I think that whole journey's been exciting. Long hours, but I love it. If you work for yourself, you don't care about the hours, you just enjoy it.
So, sorry to disturb you. So you only work by yourself? There's no one else on the team?
No, all by myself. I run my Facebook, I run my Instagram, I run the marketing, meeting people, running around.
Okay.
So
it's impressive.
I mean, we have a very, epic epidemic in South Africa. It's actually quite bad about youth unemployment. It's about 55% currently. Why would you say to young people they should start their own businesses or go in the entrepreneurship route?
Well, as I said, there's a lot of retrenchment happening with big corporates, and I just feel that actually being independent and having your own business should be looked at as a positivity, not as negative. Everybody's like, you must study, but at the end of the day, look how many people can't get jobs with degrees. So actually it's very good to try and become independent, and people mustn't look at the finance, say, listen, I need to make this much money because I'm an entrepreneur. Rather try and get something that people will love, and eventually the finances will fall into place. And also with my whole idea of KasiShoe is I want to bring a lot of people unemployed into employment in a way of running a brand ambassador program where people can become a brand ambassador for me, and they get a commission for every sales they get, which actually teaches them skills, how to negotiate, how to get in people, and they also earn a commission. So I mean, from there they learn skills as well, how to be into clients face, how to basically just grow and become confident in who they are. And exactly, and I think that's a problem we have. We don't have that like skillship or internship. I don't think companies actually want to grow internships in a sense as much as they want to do jobs where people can learn a skill, and I think skills are more important
than the actual requirement.
Yes,
Definitely.
So how can people get these shoes?
well, at the moment I am working on a website, trying to build that. It's obviously a lot of work.
Oh, so you don't have a store where...
No, I don't have a physical store. Everything is word of mouth at the moment. So people come and see me, and I just give them the shoes. And obviously people are a bit skeptical. I'm like, hey, this is me. I've been, so people come. Everything is just collection at the moment, or I do deliver. Obviously send them my details, and I do ship it to them. So yeah, I mean, that's the way of finding me, or online. But the problem with online is not many people trust online stores because they don't know who the people are behind it. So for me, it's just important just get my face out there so people know who I am, and from there you'll build a trust. So
I mean, I don't know, guys. This is actually, I love this. I've been marveling at it the entire thing. Where did you come up with this, like, with this design, and like, what other pattern and ideas are coming up next?
Where to start? It's a good thing. So what happens, my dad works a lot in Africa.
Yes.
So obviously in Nigeria and Ghana, and he brings a lot of, like, I don't know if you guys seen those traditional t-shirts that they wear.
Yes.
And I was like, I love those shirts because of the color. And I was like, why can't I implement it into a sneaker?
Oh my.
So I was like, let me just bring it into a sneaker. And without realizing, I think like a lot of like African countries all have one thing in common. We love our style.
Yes.
And colors. And I was like, this sneaker would be perfect. So brought out the sneaker, and people loved it. And yeah, and I mean, it is what it is.
And it looks like a comfortable shoe.
It is very comfortable. It's a suede material. And the awesome thing is, like, no pattern on the side is ever the same. So you are wearing a unique sneaker.
And how
the
much?
price range?
Yes.
Price range.
Buy it now.
Let's speak. How much do I get?
How much?
A pair goes for 500 rand.
Wow.
So I'm trying to keep it reasonably a reasonable
Wow.
price.
And you source the sneakers yourself and do the designs and all of that.
Yes.
Okay, we're coming.
And
when is payday?
in terms of sneakers, I've got 130 different types of styles, cuts, looks. I'm even getting high heels for the ladies.
You see, now you're speaking my language.
Are you thinking of going into clothing maybe as well?
Everybody's asked me that.
I mean, we want to wear those
I
heels.
actually like the name. I have thought about it, but for now, like, my focus is sneakers, because I think sneakers is what people mostly wear.
Okay. So you mentioned that one of the challenges is the fact that people don't trust and they're getting the actual exposure. What are some of the other challenges that you faced in just being a businessman to this day?
I think it's a lot of like relying on other people
Yeah.
in a sense, like just the manufacturing, and then there's delays, and then your customers are on your case, like, why? Like, I ordered it, when's it coming, and I'm trying to tell people just be patient, I'm like a one-man show at the moment. I can't. I think that, and just I think just deliveries. I mean, at the moment we don't have a proper e-commerce solution in South Africa that's reasonable, where you can just send it door to door for a certain rate, and I think that's one of the challenges that I'm facing in terms of delivery or getting my products to clients. So I have to use mostly whatever we have now, and a lot of times like, where's the shoes, or when are they arriving? I'm trying to say it is there,
it's coming.
So there's nothing like from an e-commerce to a consumer communication where they say, listen, your shoes are here, we can pick it up.
So now they know the challenges, but what would you say, what advice would you give them if they want to start their own business?
So we have to
Less than 30
unfortunately
run out of time.
But this is only 500 rand, guys. So go on to KasiShoe across all social media platforms and get your pay. If you're a young person and you'd like to get some more inspiration about entrepreneurship, here is a quick insert from the Youth Expo about entrepreneurship. Check it out.
Lorilo, who is the outreach officer and in charge of this whole operation. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Firstly, well done.
Thank you. And thank you so much.
No, they're interesting. Besides that, I feel like they're relevant to the times that we're living in.
I hope so.
Yes,
I'd like to think that we find people who know, who are in touch with, the circle of
You've hit the nail.
I'm glad.
You've hit it on the nail. That's what they said. So firstly, I just want to know, in terms of this whole initiative where you have entrepreneurs and you have people funding them and you bring them together, what was the motivation behind this?
Firstly, all of the clients that are here are ones that we funded ourselves from our agency. So we just felt that we needed to give them more exposure than the ones that they're getting like through social media and whatever. I mean, we are lucky enough to be in the Golden Acres, so they have the platform to come and exhibit and get more clients, get exposure, get exposed to other people who fund more than what we do. So I mean, you're a young person, you're in entrepreneurship, you want every opportunity to grow your business. So why not give them platforms that we also have available to us? So that was the thought behind it.
Make bread, healthy bread, good for you, and I make different feed bars, healthy bars. So this one here is carob. So carob is another way of having it in a chocolate way, in a healthy form though. And this one here we have sesame and coconut, and over here we have a mixed seed. There's more that has been finished. There's bread that is also more finished. Over here we have muffins. We also make cheese, cashew nut cheese, sliceable. We make cakes, we make pizza, we make ice cream. So come make your order at Sarah at Go Vegan. You can get us on Facebook as well at Go Vegan, Go Vegan, Go Plant.
Oh yes, and that is how you can get to entrepreneurship. But we've had a guest in studio who's been chatting to us about this fabulous shoes. 500 rand, you guys, at KasiShoe across all social media platforms. Thank you so much, Jean, for joining us on the show. We hope that you guys are going to go out and buy these shoes. But let's go to a quick commercial ad break. So nibona emvani kwenentengi isosi yanithanda apho emakhaya.
Welcome terug, Escanators. You are, of course, still tuned into Cape Town TV, Ekse, on channel 263. So, before we were cut off with Jean, he was answering the question. So, basically, he says the advice that he has for the youth of Mzansi is to definitely get your network right, know your support, of course, and definitely know your market. And do not give up. Even if you get no's from certain businessmen, keep on going. That's your business will succeed eventually. So hashtag inspire before you expire, okay? Hashtag Monday motivation is all we are about.
You know what else we should know?
What should we know?
When this repeat of this show is going to be.
This
is happening tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. till 8 a.m. on channel 263. Also, what you should know is that tomorrow we are back. So guys, there's a lot that you should know, but what you should know though is that we are your biggest, your favorite show right here in Mzansi, and we go by the name of Ekse right here on Cape Town TV.
Also, there was a new term that she introduced us. What are the Exenators?
Escanators.
Escanators. You guys are now officially Escanators given to you by UTK. Yes, I like that. Thank you so much. Like Uvio said, if you don't catch that episode at 7 this tomorrow morning until 6:30, you can catch it on YouTube afterwards. But of course, Nati, we're going to be here the whole week, giving it to you like we did it today. Did you guys enjoy the show today?
We did.
Guys,
did you enjoy the show?
It was my first live show,
Woo!
but definitely not my last.
Definitely
it was
not
so
your
amazing, so
Definitely
amazing,
not
man.
her last.
Oh man, I think it's so. I love the fact that it was all ladies' day, today.
Yes.
It was just ladies doing it for
It was a
themselves.
ladies' vibe.
And we were inspired and motivated by the Amy Foundation. We also had Uzan, who is brilliant entrepreneur who is doing those sneaks. They only go by 500 rand, guys.
And if you wear
500
it,
rand.
if you wear it with a buckle, it's going to slap. But
Amen.
otherwise, we are going to say goodbye to the show right now. Otherwise, Sishiyana music video by Okanye Mavi. Someone was explaining it to me. I'm going to go find out what the real reason is.
Siyanithanda emakhaya. Ciao for now. I'm Vish for the darlings. And this
See you, the Black Rose.
I'm your girl TK, and I'm out.
Ciao for now.